and distant cousins. I had been genuinely looking forward to it just to spend more time with Renee, but then I saw her, Sasha, in a pearly white dress. We locked eyes and suddenly the world stopped. Her champagne glass froze halfway to her lips. Then the worst possible thing happened. Keon stepped out from behind her, my ex-best friend, wearing a matching pearl white tie. The three of us stood frozen while Renee's relatives milled around clutching cocktails. Renee went rigid, and when I looked at her, I saw it. This was what she had been apologizing for. Sasha started storming toward us. Keon followed her, saying, Wait, I can't do this. I turned to Renee. Please. Her voice broke, but I was already walking out, leaving her standing there with her hand still extended toward where mine had been. She followed me to the parking lot. Please, just get through dinner. You knew they'd be here. I didn't know about Keon, but you knew about Sasha. That wasn't a question. Alan number. I originally just wanted. I cut her off. I told her I needed time, then got in my car and left. She had to walk back in and make up some excuse about food poisoning. She texted me all evening. 72 messages and 21 calls I didn't respond to. But then next morning at 4 a.m., she showed up at my door. The wedding's in 10 hours. Please, she sobbed. I stood there, not knowing what to do. She was shaking so hard her teeth were chattering even though it was warm outside. I opened the door wider, and she practically fell through it. Her makeup had run down her face in black streaks, and her dress from the rehearsal dinner was wrinkled like she'd slept in her car. The neighbors across the hall had cracked their door open to watch, so I pulled her inside before they called security. She collapsed onto my couch and immediately started digging through her purse with trembling hands. Her phone screen lit up with dozens of missed calls from her family. She swiped past them and pulled up old photos from her camera roll. Two girls in matching red Christmas sweaters smiled at the camera, maybe 12 years old. Renee pointed at the taller one with perfect teeth. That was Sasha. They looked like sisters almost. Same nose, same chin. But Sasha's smile was bigger and brighter even back then. Renee scrolled to another photo from high school where Sasha wore a crown at what looked like homecoming while Renee stood in the background. Another photo showed them at some family party where everyone surrounded Sasha while Renee sat alone at a side table. My chest got tight as the pieces started clicking together in my head. She'd known exactly who my ex was when she hired me for this fake boyfriend job. She'd known I'd walk into that rehearsal dinner and see the woman who destroyed me. My hands started shaking too, but from anger, not sadness. Renee must have seen my face change because she grabbed my arm and shook her head so hard her earrings rattled. She tried to explain that yes, at first she just wanted to show up with someone impressive to make Sasha jealous for once in her life. But then everything changed when she actually got to know me. The coffee she brought me every morning, the soup when I was sick, the way she cried at the cake tasting, none of that was fake. Her voice cracked as she talked about how Sasha always got everything first. Better grades even though Renee studied harder. The lead in every school play while Renee worked backstage. The promotion at their grandmother's company that Renee had been promised. When Sasha announced her engagement at Thanksgiving, their mom literally turned to Renee and asked why she couldn't be more like her cousin. I walked to the kitchen because I needed to do something with my hands before I punched a wall. My body went through the motions of making coffee without thinking about it. 2 scoops of grounds, water to the 4-cup line, then I reached for the oat milk without even realizing I was making her drink, not mine. Extra shot of espresso, no sugar, exactly how she liked it. My hands shook as I poured, and I had to admit to myself that I'd memorized every little thing about her without meaning to. She followed me to the kitchen and pulled up her text messages to show me dozens of unsent drafts from weeks ago. Each one started with her trying to tell me the truth about Sasha. The timestamps showed she'd written them at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, right after our family dinners. But she never sent them because every time I mentioned my ex, my whole face would change and she couldn't stand being the one to hurt me like that again. The anger came rushing back, and I slammed the coffee mug